This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. The point I want to tell you is so tomorrow and day after tomorrow we will be discussing database concepts. So please do not miss those sessions. Those who are not having any prior knowledge on database, let us try to cover some topics about database in the weekend uh, because it requires some more time. So we can have some extra time and we can finish. So Sunday also we have class because yesterday I could not able to make the class. So let us connect on Sunday also. Let us utilize this weekend. Okay. And from Monday onwards, I'll continue with the regular topics. So what we were discussing. And mostly in the weekend, I'll try to show how to connect to a database using Python. Okay, that is a plan. We'll see how it goes. That is one point I want to tell you. And some of you send the program. I saw the email, but I have some system issues, so I could not able to test that. So mostly in the weekend I'll test and will confirm you the feedback. Okay. Today at 11:30 I have a call, so I'll be closing by 11:30. So we'll see how much I can cover today. So that's it. So where are we? We are with file operations, right? File operations. So we have seen two examples so far, two modes so far. Read mode we have seen. R is for read mode. W is for write mode. So we have to create one file object. We have to say open, provide file name, and then mode. So it will create a file for us. That is what we have seen as some example. So for example, if I write a program like this, demo.txt, and if I open in write mode, say if I say f.write hello, f.close. Okay. So if this is my program, what happens when I execute this program? When I execute this program, what happens? One file demo.txt will be opened. If the file is already available, it will open in the write mode. If the file is not available, it will create the file and it will open. Okay, and that is available in the object f. So when I say f.write, what happens? It will write the content to the file. We all know that. But the point here is when you are using w, so it is opening the file in write mode, and always it will rewrite the file. So if I run this program 10 times also, what I can see? I can see output as hello only, right? That means it is simply overriding the content of demo.txt. So you don't want to override the existing file. Okay, you want to open the existing file. If there is no data, add it. Otherwise, append the data next time onwards. If that is your requirement, what you have to do is, it's very simple. What you have to do is, here instead of W, you say A. Okay, saying A means the file will be opened in append mode. So if I run this program now, append means adding some extra text, right? So if I'm running this program couple of times, 3 times, fourth times, 4 times I have run this program. So if you see here, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So initially already it is having hello, and now after running 4 times hello is also added to the file. Okay, so these are the main operations of file, like read operation, write operation, and append operation. Okay, any questions so far on these three operations? No? Yes? Confirming quickly. Clear? Okay. Next, one important way of using files. Okay, let me write one more file. File with it is with only. Okay, so f equals to open demo.txt, and what are the mode you want, you can open. You write your code here. Dot close. So far, this is the way we are writing, right? We are opening the file and we are storing into one object. Then we are performing our file related operations, and finally we are closing the file. This is what we are doing here. So if you are doing this way, we need to take care. We should be mindful with close operation. So I am repeatedly telling you. So when you open any file object, you must close that object in order to clear the memory and connection with the program also. If you do not close the file.close, the Python will be still interacting with that file, and if some other program is trying to interact with that file, it may not be able to do that, because it will say some other process or program is using this file and I cannot overwrite, something like that. We will get some issues. Okay, so we must close the file object once we are done with our operations. So there is another way we can use without writing f dot close. So that way is using with operation. So how to do that? Let me write the code. So for example, same code I'll write, okay, with open, say demo.txt, and I want to do it in write mode as f. Okay, this works like one block. This let me remove. Okay, here I can write my code dot write slc. So for example, new line f dot write python \n. That's it. 2 lines are fine for me. So at the end, what I'll say is end of the program. Okay. So line number 2, line number 3 comes under the with block. Okay, what is the advantage of writing this way is, in this way you don't have to worry about closing the file object. Here, what is the file object? F is the file object, right? So in the previous way, when you are opening one file object, after you are done with your coding related to files, you have to call f dot close. If you get any error or if you have any exception in between, you must take care about closing of the file by following some try and exception blocks, exception handling, or whatever the technique or whatever the logic you want to follow, you can implement, and you have to make sure you are closing the file object. But in this scenario, if you are writing program like this, you don't have to worry about closing of the file. Okay, and this is the standard way actually. When you are dealing with any files related thing, you create a with block, and inside that you write the logic related to your files. Once the cursor execution flow comes out of this block, the file object will automatically be destroyed. You don't have to write the f dot close or destroy anything. Automatically it will destroy. Okay, let me run this program. If I run this program, output wise we don't see any difference. So I got the end of the program. If I go to demo.txt, slc and python are added, that's fine. But how to identify whether it is closing the object or not? How can I identify whether the file is opened or closed? Remember, we have one property. We have one property like f dot closed. Do you remember this? So when I say f dot closed, it will give true if it is closed. It will give false if it is open. Okay. So I wrote f dot closed inside with block. Now I'll write the same statement after after with block. Let us see what happened. Okay. So my expectation is, so when I call f dot closed inside the with block, it is still open inside the with block. It is still open, so it will give false here. So after coming out of the block, so the file object is automatically closed. So in the line number 7, f dot closed will give you true. Okay. So let me run this. See here, false, and of the program true. So this way you can understand that the with block is killing the closing the file object automatically after the use. Okay, is it clear? This is important, guys. The reason is this is actually standard way. So when you are writing code, you have to follow some standards. So while creating an object, anything, when you're writing on variable, when you're writing on functions, you have to follow some standards. Those standards are like naming conventions. So what type of names you have to follow, and best practices. This is the best practice when you are dealing with the files. The reason is very simple. In between, if you get some exception also, you don't have to logically handle the exception and all. Automatically Python will take care, and the file object will be closed. So it is giving some extra benefit to you. Okay, so it is a best practice to use with the block when you are dealing with the files. Okay, is this program clear to everyone, or please let me know if you have any questions. Good. Let me talk about next topic. File sync. Okay. We have one method called tell. Okay. So seek also there. So when you say tell, what it will give is, so while reading the file, where is the cursor currently? So if you want to know where the cursor is currently available, you can use a method called tell using the file object. Okay, let me write you one simple program so that you can understand. F equals to open the demo.txt. I'll open and read mode, for example. Okay, anything is fine. So print f dot tell. Okay, what happens if I run this program? See, 0 it is saying. Why it is saying 0? The file is opened. Let me close the file at the end. Okay, the file is opened and the cursor is at location 0. At the index 0, that means in the first row, first line of your file, the cursor is waiting. So based on your next steps, it will perform the steps, whatever the operations you want to do. So for example, I'll say print f dot read of say 3. Okay, I said f dot read of 3. What happens? So a read of 3 will read the 3 characters from the cursor. Wherever the cursor is available, from there it will count 3 characters and it will print those 3 characters. So I think in our file we have SLC and Python, something like. I think the file is open here. Yeah, SLC Python. So if I say 3, SLC will be printed and the cursor will be waiting at here. The cursor will be waiting at here. So let us see how it will give the output. So let me also print tell here. Run. See, initially it is 0. Next I printed 3. Here I printed, or maybe I read some data and stored in a variable. Whatever the operations I want to do, I just performed. Later, I am trying to find where it is available currently. So it is saying 3. Okay, f dot tell function will tell you where the cursor is available currently. Okay, is that clear? We have one more option like seek also we have. So let's say for example data equals to f dot read print data. Guys, first try to guess what would be the output here. In my Python file, I have SLC and Python. I have only 2 lines of code. Okay. Here I have written like this. Okay. So f dot tell initially it will give 0. Next I'm saying f dot read of 3. So it will read 3 characters SLC. Okay. Now again I'm telling f dot tell. It will give 3. Okay. Next now I'm saying data equals to f dot read. What it will read? Will it read from the beginning or will it read from uh, the index of the cursor currently available? Okay, some people are guessing correctly. Yes, if I run this, see here what I got Python. Why I got Python? F dot read generally reads the data from the current cursor pointed to the end of the file. From the current cursor point to end of the file, it will read. Okay, but I want to read from the beginning. For example, okay, I perform some operations in between. My cursor is somewhere there in the uh, file. Okay, but I want to read the data from beginning. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to say f dot seek of 0. F dot seek of 0. So what it will do is it will sends the cursor to beginning of the file. Okay, so this is what happens. If I run this now, see here, till here it printed tell, it printed SLC, it printed 3. When I say f dot seek, what happens here? So it will, the cursor will go to the beginning of the file, and next operations what you are wishing to do, you can perform those operations. In the line number 7, I'm saying f dot read. So I'm reading the entire data. So from 0 index to entire file will be retrieved, and that will be stored in the data. Okay, is it clear? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Is it clear, guys? In Python 3, seek will send you to actually the beginning location only. For example, if I say 2, don't think it will work, but let me try. Oh, it's working. Okay, fine. Okay, seek, and you have to provide the index, so it will go to that specific index. If I say 0, it will go to 0. If I say 2, it will go to 2, like that. Can we add one file in another? So what does it mean, Ganesh? So you want to read data from one file and copy to another file? If that is your question, yes, we can do. Can we add then? Can we add one file in another? Adding one file in another means Yes, just to show one example, I have taken demo.txt. Here you can use anything. That's not a problem. Okay, anything you can use here. I have taken one file just to show all kinds of operations. So I have taken one file, that's it. So file. Okay, I want to write one program. File, count lines, words, characters. Can we do this? Okay. Open demo.txt, read. I want to read the data of one file. I want to identify how many lines are there, how many words are there, how many characters are there. How can I do that? Can I do that? Yes or no? Logically, can I write a program to find out number of lines, number of words, number of characters in a file? Yes or no? Yes, I can write. Can anyone suggest me how to do that? Any suggestions? Take one count variable. Only one count variable I need. How many count variables I need? Here I'm trying to find 3 counts, right? So I need 3 counts. Simply I'll say count lines equals to 0, count words equals to 0, count characters equals to 0. Okay, 3 counts I have taken here. Now tell me, how can I find out number of rows, number of words, number of characters? How can I do that? Any guess?
So do you have something called end of line or something in this?
End of the line, no, nothing like that. Here you have to write your own logic. So how do we write the logic? That is my question. Don't think there is some automatic function kind of thing and build function kind of thing. I'm asking you, when I'm asking you means it is logical thing. Something related to technology, as you don't know, I have to explain that. So for example, if data equals to, I'll say f dot read all lines, for example. What happens here? When I say data equals to f dot read all lines, all the lines data will be stored into data, right? As a list. We have seen an example also in the previous session. So all the content of the file will be retrieved as a array. It is retrieved as a list. Okay, collection, list collection. We saw how the data is stored in the list collection, and I have printed the data type of the variable also. You remember that? So if I say f dot read lines, what happens? All the lines will be stored in the data, and all the lines will be a list format.
So can we just find out by using length, sir?
Length, yes, we can use. Length we can use, but only length will not work for all, right? So for example, for line in data, okay, c lines equals to c lines plus 1. Okay, the outside, all right, print number of lines comma c lines. Will it give number of lines or not? The same program we have already written in the previous session. I think you forgot. Is it clear? We can print number of lines. Is it clear or should I explain in depth? If it is clear, I'll talk about the next number of words and number of characters. Okay. Now I want to get number of characters. How can I get that one? C chars equals to C chars plus, I can say length of line. Okay. I can say length of line, or again I can loop through each word of the line. I can loop through each character of the line. Then I can append like this. I can calculate the count of characters. So till here we'll get the number of characters also, right? When I say length of line, length is a function we have seen in the string operations. So when you have a string and that is enclosed with length function, what it will give? It will give the number of characters available in the string. Here line is a string for us. So when you say length of line, it will give how many characters are available. So that also I can print here. Print number of characters. Okay, C chars. Done. Next, I need to find out number of words. Okay, how to find number of words? How to find number of words? For that, what I'll do is, so I'll split the lines into words. I take one variable called words. Words equals to I think line dot split. Yes. Okay. If I say line dot split, what it will give is automatically based on the space in between the string, it will split into words. If you have hi space, hello space, how are you? So it will split wherever we got the space, and it will create one collection with the 5 items. Hi is one item, hello is one item, how are you? 3 items. So 5 items we will get, and that 5 items will be stored in the variable words. Okay, so we got words collection, and that collection contains number of words based on the content available. So again here also you can say count of words equals to count of words plus length of words I can use. Again, this is also a collection, right? I can say length of the words. Okay. You may ask me, can't I use length against the data? Yes, we can use. We can use length against data also. Length or count. It will give you the number of lines available also. I think in our program there are no words in each line. So let me write some words. Hello, SLP Python. Welcome you. Okay. So we have 2 lines. In each line we have 2 words, and approximately how many characters I have? Python 6, 10 in the first line. Welcomes 7, 10, 11, 21 characters. If I am not wrong, it is 21 characters. Let's go here. Let's run this program. I did not print the number of words, it seems. Print number of words. C words. Why it is giving 24 characters?
Sir, / and I think so it is also taking one more character.
Maybe yes. Yes, correct. So it is taking backslash n, and we have 3 backslash n's, I think. So that's the reason why it's giving 24. Okay. Words also coming correctly. 4 words are there. Lines are also correctly coming. 2 lines are there. Okay. So if I add one more line, no backslash available here. Why it's taking extra character? I'll add one more. 4 letters I have added here. Twenty-four. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Before 25, 26, 27, 28. I think at the end also, at the end it must be storing some hidden character. Generally, files will store end of the line character, something like that. Maybe I am just guessing. So I think it is storing some extra character and it is considering that also. Okay. Okay. I don't mind with this len or whatever we are using. I just mind about the logic. So if you can follow the logic, I'm fine. Zero only. Okay, we'll see.
Sir, it's 29 characters, correct on this, sir?
Correct only. How?
Sir, sir, can you just show me the thing? We can just count it and we can see, no, sir. / is one more character, and
Okay. Did I wrongly counted?
I think so, sir.
No problem. Okay.
SLC is 3, sir, and the space is 4. Python is 6. 6 plus 6 plus 4, 10.
Yeah.
And the / n, so that is also one more character, 11. Now it comes to
11.
W. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The second line is 23, sir. After it consider / n also. 24, 24, and demo is 25, 26, 27, 28, and the last line is 29.
Okay. But actually here there is no new line character, right? After demo, if you see the cursor.
But the cursor is right there, no, sir. But the cursor is
okay.
right there, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, here one new line character is there. So if I say backspace, I'm sorry. You're right. So let me run this now. It will give 28 now. It is just finding the / n only, no hidden characters, nothing. Right. So yeah, okay. Is it clear to everyone? Next, we have binary files handling also. That's not so much important, but I'll show you one simple example. So like you can read binary files. Binary files means images or audio files or video files. Those files you can read as binaries, and if you want you can transform them to other location, or if you want you can create another file. Like that you can deal with them. We'll show you only one example for that because that's not so important for us. File binary. Okay, let me create one image file. Let me check if I have an image file or audio file. I have one file. cover.jpg. Let me copy that somewhere to here, or I'll copy to in the same folder so that we don't have to provide the path. Okay, cover.jpg. This is the file. It's not so important, but just want to show you one example. Okay, so let me open f1 equals to open cover.jpg. I want to read its binary, so I'll say RB. Okay, R means read, B means binary. I'll create one more file, open new file .jpg. I'll say, okay, jpg, and I'll say write binary. That's it. Okay, before writing, what I need to do is I'll take one variable. I'll read the binaries to it. F1 dot read. Then I'll say F2 dot write byte. That's it. File created. We don't do any binary operations now, so you can ignore this. One simple example I'm showing is, so I have one file called cover.jpg. Here cover.jpg is available under this demo2 folder. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just opening that and I'm reading the binaries of the file and I'm storing into F1. Okay, next, based on the binaries, I want to create another file. So what I'm trying to do, I'm reading the binaries f1.read and I'm storing into one variable called byte. Okay, and I'm saying f2.write that byte. So all the binaries will be available in the byte variable, and I'm trying to write those bytes or binaries into f2 file. Where is f2 file? F2 file is nothing but new file.jpg. It's in write binary mode. Okay, so if I run this, I got a message, file created. Let me open the folder. See here, new file.jpg. If I open this, I'll get the same image. Okay, same image. So how it is created means based on the binaries of the file. It reads the file into ones and zeros, and it is rewriting the file into another file. That's it. Okay. So this is not so important for us, but next example is important for us. Let me add one more file. File CSV. How many of you know what is CSV? CSV file. What is CSV file? CSV file means comma separated values. That's it. Comma separated values. So that file, that kind of files we can open using the Excel. MS Excel. Okay. Same like how you are seeing the Excel data. That way you will be having that data. But the extension will be .csv. In order to perform some operations against the CSV file, what you need to do is you have to import CSV module. You have to import CSV module. Okay, so import CSV. Okay, I got the CSV module imported. Now let me open one file. I want to go with statement with open emp.csv write mode. Okay, also going at this. Okay, let me try. I want to specify one more property here. New line equals to empty string. If I don't mention this new line character, when I'm trying to write every word, it may come into next line. Okay, so except a new line, we know the remaining part. With open, I have provided one file name emp.csv, and I'm mentioning w. W means read mode. Okay, done. Next, what I'll do is f dot write. Let me create an object here. W equals to csv dot writer of f. Okay, this is one object we need to create. That's it. W dot write row. Employee number, employee name, employee salary. Print file created. Let me run this and test first. So go to run menu, run this file csv. Okay, file created. No error something. So if I open this, see here emp.csv file. CSV file is little heavy comparing to Excel also. See, I got the file here. Employee number, employee name, employee salary I got here. Okay. So how we are passing the data here? We are passing the data as a list here. Okay. So only new thing here is when you are dealing with the CSV file, you have to say import CSV, one module you have to import. Next, you open the file. Done. Okay. Next, this is one thing. We have to create one object, a writer object. CSV.writer of f. You have to create that object. Then once you got the CSV related write object, what you can do is CSV related operations you can do. How I am doing that? So w dot write row. When I say write row, what it is doing? It is creating one row for me, and each item I'm providing here as a list, it is adding to one cell. Okay. For example, if I remove this, let us see what happens. File created, it is saying, let's open the file. For now, there is no difference because we added only one row. I just want to see the data. So 1, 2, 3. Kumar, 1 lakh. Let me run. See here, if I don't provide new line equals to empty, what is happening is the cursor is already going to new line and it is waiting there. When you are providing dot write row, it is entering the data in the next row. So unnecessarily one extra row is inserting here. So that is the reason why we use new line character here. New line equals to empty string. That's it. Okay. Here you can write whatever the data you want. Now this is the data. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4 you can say, 1, 2, 5 you can say. Here you can provide some other names. Rajesh maybe, some Kalpana, some random names I'm giving. Salaries also I'm giving random, 2 lakhs, 1.5 lakh. Okay, if I run this now, it creates a file. I can see the data. Okay, this is how I can write data to the CSV file. I think this is clear to you guys. Here I have provided the hard-coded values, but you can write your own logic, like you can ask the user, enter the employee ID, enter the employee name, enter the salary, and you can create one list and say w dot write row of list. Okay, you can do that way. That way you can read data from the user and you can write that data into your CSV file. Okay, this is an example for writing a CSV. Let us see an example for reading a CSV. File CSV read. Okay, we need module import CSV, that is for sure. Next, I need to create one file object, open. Guys, I'm providing the file name directly because that is in the same directory where my program is stored. Otherwise, I have to give the full path. Okay, in read mode, I want to open. Again, I need to create one object like this, CSV dot. Previously, we created an object called writer to write the data. Now I'm creating an object called reader to read the data. Okay. Now if I say data equals to, so for example, list of R. So R already contains the data. When you say CSV dot reader of F, it will contain F related data into R. When I say list of R, the data will be converted into list collection, and that is available in my data variable. Now I can print the data for maybe a line in data. Okay, print line. Let us see what happens. Print line. Let me run this program. See here, employee number, employee name, salary, and all the data I got here. All the data here again I got in the form of list. Okay, I got the data in the format of list. So is it clear? I just imported the CSV file. I opened the CSV file in read mode. This is new to us. Okay, reader and a writer concept. Okay, CSV.reader. So this will read the CSV based on the CSV functionality that will be stored in R. So R is containing the data. So what are the data we have in row based data it is having. So I'm converting that row based data into list and I'm storing into data, one variable. So now data is a collection of lists. That list will contain this kind of data. So I'm just printing it. Okay. Is it clear or any questions on this?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So it should print like line by line. No? So suppose in the first list you have E number, then it should print E name like that. No, but why is it printing like exactly the same thing? No, I just got a doubt.
Sorry, I didn't get you. So you want to
No, normally, sir, the data is stored in the form of list, right? So each and every that box will have each and every single data like E number, E name, E salary, 1, 2, 3 like that. So when you're printing the thing, it should print line by line, right? E number, first is E number, then E name like that.
No. Let me print data. Then you will understand. Print data. Okay. Data is a list of list items again. See here. Data.
Okay.
It's a list again and a collection of list items here. Okay. Every row in the CSV it is returning as a list.
Okay, then it's correct, sir.
That's the reason why it is printing like that. But if you want again instead of having this kind of list, you got the data and you got the data in the format of list. Up to that you have. So based on that list, you do whatever you want to do. You want to print like individual item, yeah, you can do it. You want to write some manipulations, yes, you can. You are allowed to write. Okay.
Okay, sir.
CSV is clear to everyone? Is line is a keyword? No, no, Ganesh. It's a temporary variable for the for loop. You forgot the for loop syntax. Here instead of line, you can say L also. Anything you can say L. L also, it will work same way. No problem. Okay. As part of file handling, we need to discuss about directories. So that's a simple thing only. A couple of things you need to remember. I'll share the notes with you guys sometime today. Just refer that. Some examples will be there, 4 or 5 examples. It's very simple thing only. Just execute those examples and see. Okay, so you will understand the things. If you don't understand, let me know. So consider that as an assignment for you for tomorrow. So sometime today, maybe in the evening, I'll try to upload yesterday's and today's videos, and that assignment or notes kind of thing I will upload. Please run those examples, and that's a simple thing, 2-3 lines programs. So you will understand how to create a folder, how to create a subfolder, how to delete a folder, rename a folder. There are 4 or 5 examples. Okay, simple examples, very straightforward examples. You just run them and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we can close the file handling part. And next important thing is don't miss tomorrow's session.